Thank you for joining us on Discussion to Action. Today we're going to be talking about the common phrase made by many women who say that there are no good men out there, and then we're also going to have a conversation about women of value. So you guys ready?
Everybody's an individual. To lump everyone in together and say there's no good men is really not a deep level of understanding of any. No one's absolute, like there's 100%.
Okay. When women say, whoever is saying it, at whatever time, how do you define a not so good man?
I've said that before, but it's based off like, I think that I wasn't saying it in like,
emotions.
I wasn't saying it because I truly believe it.
But what is it?
Yeah,
that's all I want to know.
What you got hurt.
It's my bad choices.
I'm not asking why. No, I'm saying what does a bad guy look like? What does he do is what I'm saying.
Lies.
Okay, thank you. That's what I'm asking.
You don't want to bash him.
No, it's how you present it. So when women are saying that, what are they saying? They're talking about what? Men who lie, men who cheat,
who have other wives in other states.
Okay.
They do a lot of stuff. They do, and we have all probably been through that or knew a girlfriend that did. But to say all of them aren't, that's all we were saying. But yeah, for sure, I've had some not so good men that lied. I'm not married, but I really am. You know,
Okay.
But everything is disconnection. So when a woman don't know herself, she don't know her man.
Right.
So if you don't have no values and beliefs to hold true to yourself, you can't say that man is no good because then you ain't no good. You have no value or belief of what good is.
Right.
So that's where they're constantly going. Like until you know what good is to you, what are your values, what are your beliefs, what do you consider respect for yourself? What will you take? Because if a man can go out there and he can just, he's not, he's just texting her or whatever, he ain't doing no harm, that's disrespectful for me, but maybe to her it ain't.
I think a man could cheat at 25, and if 10 years from now he decides that that's not the life he's living anymore, I would have to, it might take me some time, and I might not want to be with him myself, but I would have to respect the changes that he's made and is continuing to make every day. I don't think that people should be held accountable necessarily for decisions that they made in the past and maybe even practiced in the past, because people have a right to change.
Well, that's the point. But people are saying when they get cheated on, there's no good men out there. So that's the
But again, it's just because they come from themselves.
Right.
Yeah, they're coming from.
Right. I understand. Exactly. I'm just saying it's about reflecting on why this is being said and understanding where it's coming from and the reality of
The thing is, we are not raised in a culture where we sit down, we sit our daughters or our sons down to say, hey, you've been broken, sit down, reflect on what you've been going through so then you can heal. Where did that pain come from? Because it didn't come from that person, it came from you. And then they continue that damage, whatever the case may be, because you never healed it. We're not in that culture, so that's why everybody speaks from that hurt place. Nobody understands how to say, you know what, let me watch my words because I understand this is coming from this painful, this deep stuff that was never, ever uncovered, undug, like anything. So every time it's like, there ain't no good man, it's like nobody don't have that comment. It's not a law, it's not rules. We can't sit up here and define exactly what a good man to each person is. There's a billion people on a trillion people on this earth. But the common denominator is what's the pain of why you're saying why no good men are out there. And then maybe you can get somewhere, but you can't get nowhere if the culture ain't teaching it.
It's true. I mean, that person saying there's no good man today, if God brings her, if a good man walks through, will she notice? Will she know? Is she in a place to receive it? Are they walking by her every day and she's so damaged that she can't see it? So definitely when they're saying that, they're coming from hurt. If you poll them, it's like, they done hurt. Somebody got cheated on. They got cheated on. Their mama got cheated. Someone got hurt. Someone got hurt.
And
that makes you say that.
The ambiguity that you're referring to about what a good man is, sometimes they're not packaged. Sometimes they are a good man, as we've already said, those things, attributes that we're looking for. But if they aren't packaged in a way that you would receive it, you might miss it. But it doesn't mean that they aren't still a good man, even to you. Like for myself, my husband has a 12-year-old. We have been married 6 years now, and I never envisioned myself being with somebody who already had kids. But I consider my husband a good man. In my heart, that's what I'm doing, right? No, but I consider him a good man, but I had to kind of warm up to the idea of being a stepmom,
And and my guy came in a short package. Like, what?
Yeah.
He came, looking over, I think I told you, I looking over him because he wasn't tall. Like, literally in my brain, he's friend zoned because he's not in the package that I like, you know, bigger and taller than me. And I just had to like, wait a minute. What are you really looking at? He could be saying, look at your big self, whatever. He could be saying that, but he's not. Like, you know, and I think that's where when I wasn't mature enough to see that it could come in all these packages. He could have a kid, he could have an ex-wife, and you have a kid. You know, like, people have to realize, just meet them where they are and
Get out of that fantasy.
get out of that fantasy.
Okay, that brings us to this. Women are often criticized for having a list. What is on the list and why is it so long for so many women?
I think we're taught to have a list. Someone has always told me you should have a list. Like they're like you. But at the same time, like we're supposed to see value in ourselves. We should see value in that person too. So it's like, what are you looking for? Like, what's gonna meet your needs? Like, you're not just gonna pick up any guy off the street. And like, okay, like he looks cute. That's it. Like that's not gonna put food on your table. That's not gonna like nurture you. Like if it's just some random guy. So you have to have. There has to be something that you're looking for that's gonna satisfy you. Like everyone's different. So I feel like. I don't know, like my list is long because...
So you have a list.
I have a list.
You're one of those.
I'm one of those. But my list isn't like, oh, he has to have like a specific look, whereas it's more like he has to have specific characteristics. There is stuff like, okay, I would prefer if he's taller than me because I'm tall. Like, I don't want to make it. And I personally, the thing is, I've tried shorter guys and I didn't like it. I was like, this ain't for me. I've tried it. And I was like, nah, okay. God, you have to have somebody taller for me. Like, that's it. Like, you know? So that's why having a guy that's taller than me is on my list because I've already tried it and it failed kind of thing.
So how long is your list?
There's probably like a solid like 15 to 20 things on there.
Okay.
And it's just stuff that like, it also like stuff that I'm into, like that they would be into as well. Like things like staying fit or being healthy. Not necessarily like in the gym 24/7, but just like you need to be healthy so we can both live happily and long together. Like stuff like that, like just simple things. Or like just being caring or being honest. Like stuff that should honestly come in a person, but doesn't always. There's just things to remind you, like when you are looking for someone, when you are dating, making sure that they meet the qualities that meet your needs.
Okay.
Because everyone has their own needs. So.
Anybody else have a comment about the list?
I think it's a start. The reason why we would have a list, it's a start to knowing your value, like we talked about. If you can at least have an idea, just like you're trying to give me an answer. If you can't have a list of exactly what it is that you might be looking for, then you kind of are wishy-washy, like you're trying to get us to get off the fence. And you want to have a start, so you have a barometer.
Yeah.
Anybody else about the list? Yes.
It's a good idea. It's a good idea to have a list.
It's a good idea.
Like we're
I
talking
think
about,
you
it's
should
true.
prioritize your list too.
Okay, well, the question with this list is, how come then if women have lists, then they're saying there's no good men out there? Are they not?
I don't say that though. I have
No,
a list
no,
and
I
I'm saying
said-
No one's checked the boxes.
No.
yeah.
I'm not, this is not personal.
This is
This is general, because we're saying in general, this is what women are saying. So why then, if women typically have lists, then they're still saying, you know.
Because they're box, yeah, like she said, because they don't check off all the boxes. It's like, okay, this is good man. Oh, he missed 6 boxes. Not good. Like, that's what they're seeing, basically. Like, so I think that's why and plus, like, again, like what we were saying earlier with the pain. So it's just like, it just all ties into one. It's like, okay, he doesn't fit these, and he's lying, and he's doing this, or he fits the list of a bad man, or whatever the case is, then that's why. So everyone they run into, it's like, oh yeah, he's not good. Oh yeah, he's not good. Oh yeah, he's not good. Because that's what, they're attracting, or that's what they deal with, and that's what they've seen, that's what they've heard. So, yeah.
I think it's, and this for me, I think it's the mental concept of your idea of what a relationship is, and I think a lot of women's relationships are built on superficial So they put down all this list of the things that are irrelevant to what really makes them happy. So again, it goes with the disconnection. But their list can be like, oh, he gotta make 6 figures, he gotta be fine, he gotta drive this, and blah, 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 blah. Or even then, he gotta be a good man, he ain't gotta have no kids, not saying this, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But what about like, he lifts my energy, he makes me feel whole, like he completes me in ways that make me better myself, he empowers me. Like, I don't think people really think about that part, that the spirit.
And that's the
Yourself.
list right there.
That's the list.
That's the list. That's the real list.
Like myself, I had a list. I'm married, and I had a list internally that matched me and where I see myself, and it always is constantly growing.
Mhm.
It's changing
Mhm.
as I change, as I see the change in my husband. Then I have that internal list so I can be accountable to it. It's just about accountability for me, for both of us.
Does he have a list too?
Yeah.
Oh.
That internal list for the accountability for us to keep growing as individuals and to keep growing as a unit, you know.
And I hear people saying that, I've seen little memes, how women want this, and that, and they're not that themselves. They want this man that's this business person that's this, but then they are like not. You know what I mean? We're talking about attracting like kind. If you're up and growing, then of course, but if you're not doing any of those things, what's gonna make that man want you? You know what I'm saying? If you're not at that level. And so we do that. Some people I've seen have a standard, like, but you have a kid, why can't he have a kid? You know?
Right. And then, so with the list, if women aren't necessarily going by the list, but they have the list because they feel like they're going to go by the list, I guess. What then is influencing their choices and decisions in choosing the men?
Not want to be alone. Kind of maybe being duped by a man who was able to front for a little while, like he meets the list, but then he really doesn't. Those are 2 things that come to mind.
Past experiences. Yeah, think about your childhood. Like, people unconsciously pick men who sometimes are like their father. And some women don't even want to date men who are like their father at all, but you wind up being with the person that has the same characteristics as your dad. And you're like, what? Like, I have friends like that, like, who they didn't have a good relationship at all. And she always used to say, I will never marry a man like my dad. I never want to be with anybody like my dad. And the man that she's dating right now is so much like her father, it's crazy. And I'm like, girl, he is just like your dad, you are tripping. Like, because it's just like, sometimes, like, if you don't deal with,
Childhood
like, your childhood trauma, or like different situations that just happen throughout your life, like, I wouldn't say there's no way, but it's a high chance that you wind up being with people who don't fit your list.
So basically, there's no point in really even having a list, or if you're not doing self-work.
You aspire to it.
If you're not doing self-work.
If you're not doing self-work.
You have, and I was
Yeah.
just about to say that.
Mhm.
You gotta do that work. Because you're not attracting your list, you're attracting your energy. So that's why everybody's coming to you in this broken pattern, because you're not looking at yourself, they're just a reflection of you.
Because your influences are your perspective, who you are, and how you see yourself, and that's what makes you choose or make certain decisions, basically. All right, is there a difference between a good man and a nice guy?
I think a nice guy just means I don't like you. Like, oh, you're so nice, but you're not for me. That's just what it is. It's not that, like, you're a nice guy. Like, you're just not for me. Like, hey, and I think sometimes you just say, like, oh, you're so nice. But what I'm really saying is, I really don't like you. But somebody else will. Like, I don't think that, like
I think that's one
I want a bad guy or like a bad boy or nothing like that. I just don't like you.
I think
and you can be incredible. You're just not incredible for me.
You want a good guy with an edge.
What? That's
all
exactly.
it
That's exactly
That's all
it.
it is.
They gotta have a little edge.
You gotta have a little spice, a little spark.
Yeah,
like,
don't be
you can't be
so-
just too like, hey, I ain't know I like.
Yeah, just too.
You're gonna be like, oh, friend zone. Like, that's women's minds, like automatic. But if you got this whole package, you tall and you went to Yale or whatever the case may be, like, you're professional, but then you can take that suit off and be a little edgy with me, like I'm down to earth. Like, that's what women like.
That's.
It's balanced.
I like it. It's balanced.
It's balanced.
Yeah,
It's two things in one.
It's
Like,
balanced.
it's balanced.
Yeah. Balance.
Generally, the guys who have that edge or that swag are the guys that are
They
doing
may
those
used
types
to
of
do
things.
those things. They could have been just a good guy, but there's an edge, meaning they don't get duped. They command a room. They know how to hold their own. People don't pick up. You know what I'm saying? I'm not attracted to people that don't see things coming. Like that's kind of where the edge comes from.
So a
They got a
nice
little.
guy doesn't
They're no. Sometimes they're so. Vanilla might be the word. Is so they don't
Straight lace.
straight laced that they don't see. They have to have a little savvy, a little street smarts. Like, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean you did the thing, but you know somebody that might have. You know how to see a hustle coming. You're not getting taken advantage of. I trust you in a situation when we're out and about. You see danger coming. I need to feel that. I need to feel like you could go there.
Women often don't describe it that way. They're like, oh yeah, well he opens my door and you know he pulls out my chair and things. He's just too nice. I mean that's kind of like how it's described.
Some women, and I don't know if this is new age or whatever, but some women just be like, it's that independent mindset. Like when it's too nice, I can do that myself. You don't need to open my door, I got it. He's just too nice. Like let me do it. Like we need to build together. Like you don't have to do all those nice things for me. Like a lot of women think like, not a lot of women. No, a lot of women do.
This is the age of women can do it.
Yeah, but I see older women like, you know, that concept of chivalry has gone out the door.